We gonna cook tonight. Is that shit ready? Is that shit ready? Cause we gonna cook. We gonna hold it to the light, fam. Hold it to the light, fam. Hold it to the light. Cause we gonna cook tonight. Nah, man, you got too much water in there, fam. Put a little bit of that out of there. You got too much water in there. There we go. There we go. Cause we gonna cook tonight. Cause we gonna cook tonight, family. We gonna cook tonight. You feel me? All right, so let's talk about it, right? So what's gotta happen now with all of these stock that drop these so-called vaccines that's in play, the next step for them is now going to the FDA, dropping what's called an emergency authorization, right? An emergency authorization, right? So let's talk. I want to bring y'all through that whole pipeline right quick, right? So I want you to get your pen and pad so you can literally use this so you can get an idea. So one of the things I've never done is actually break down this, and this is a concept that a lot of people won't break down because it's kind of too confusing for them. But this is how the whole breakdown has to go, right? So there's 4 stages. Appreciate Calvin for the super chat. Appreciate that, family. You hear me? So in investing in a pharmaceutical stock or biopharm stock, there's 4 stages that the company must go through. I want you to write this down. Now, it's 4 stages that the company must go through, right? It's 4 stages that a company must go through, right? So I want y'all to do me a favor. You're on YouTube. If you're over there, man, like and share this, man. We're going to run it up, right? So let's take a minute, man. We got 1,000 people in YouTube in under 10 minutes, man. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. So we're going to run through it. We're going to get busy. So there's 4 stages that has to go through in a big pharmaceutical company before they put a drug out. It's 4 stages in a pipeline that must go through. The first stage they go through is called the discovery stage, right? So with the discovery stage, you're talking about scientists doing a lot of study, you're doing a lot of research and development, and then you're doing what's called an innovation. So they're looking at what's the problem that's going on around the world, how can I solve the problem, right? A lot of paperwork going on, right? A lot of paperwork going on, a lot of research and development, asking themselves what drugs can go together, what can we do? What are some of some of the hazards, some of the pros and cons? This is research and development, right? Innovation comes into play. Now, what do we want this drug to do? What is the end result, right? How do we make it as safe as possible? So they say, right? So that's the first stage, right? That's the first stage. The second stage they're gonna go through is what's called preclinicals, right? So preclinicals is when basically they're taking Hood Rich L's, appreciate you, family, for the super chat, right? So the next stage that they're going to go through is called preclinicals. What is preclinicals? This is when they take the research and development and now they come up with the actual drug, right? They come up with the actual drug. They take it here, hold it, take a little bit, shoot him with the blue magic. Is the blue magic good? No, he caught a seizure. That means it's raw. Go back, cut it a little bit, shoot him with the blue magic. He drooling, his eyes rolled back. I cut him. You feel me? So what they do with this is they take this in preclinicals. What they do is take this and they've tested on animals. Now that's not cool. You know what I'm saying? But they take this and they test it on animals, lab rats, rabbits, sometimes monkeys. Like, it's not cool. You know what I'm saying? But, that's what they're doing, right? So they do that. Now, this is the most important part. This is the most important part. Phase 3. Phase 3 is the most important part of all. This is the part that really cost them a lot of money, right? So phase 3 is the actual clinical trials, right? So phase 3 is the part where they now say, okay, these are the side effects. Let's put it into human beings. Right? Let's put it into human beings, right? So when you put it into human beings, now they say, okay, cool. This is what's happening. The next phase, the 4th phase, is what's called post-approval and marketing, right? Now through this phase, they say, okay, it's good money. You know what I'm saying? So now what they're going to do is they're going to now ship it over to the FDA. This is a whole process we got to go through. From the FDA, the FDA now has to do what's called, the company now has to file for authorization. Right? File for, meaning it has to be authorized now to go to public. Remember, the clinicals was just a practice. It's a practice run. You feel what I'm saying? The 3rd phase was clinicals. Third phase was clinical. So now they testing it on human beings. They done went from lab, they done went from just talking about it, seeing what the problem was, how can we fix the problem, what are the drugs we got to put in it to make it come to life, you know, what are the side effects of each drug, this discovery, right? The next phase is preclinicals. When we go to preclinicals, now we say, okay, these are the drugs we put in the thing. This is what we put in here. Pow, we put that in here. Pow, pow. We put a little bit of that in there. We sugar it up a little bit. Put a little water in it. Put it in a syringe. And now we stuck it in a rat. That's what they did. Right? Not cool at all. Third phase. Okay, the rats didn't die. Their heart rate picked up. They probably used the bathroom a little bit more. Okay, the kidney got smaller. They grew another ear, whatever the case may be. Okay, this not good, this good. So now what they say is, okay, cool. Let's go to human beings now, right? They go to human beings. So now they say, okay, these are the side effects on the animals. This what happened, this what happened. So now let's go to human beings, right? So now they get people to say, hey, let's fill out some paperwork saying I'm willing to take this test. You know, whatever the case may be, I'm willing to take this, whatever. They usually get people who are really, really sick. Right? People who are really, really sick, and they test those people. That's normally what happens, right? So then they go through the phase 4 is the marketing, the post-approval, right? Now, from that phase, now there's a 4 other steps they got to go through, right? The next step is now they got to file for authorization. This is what you're going to see Moderna and Pfizer do. They're going to file for what's called emergency authorization. And here's why. You're going to hear it, right? Then after they file for the authorization, now the FDA holds a committee. Hey, come here. Pop, come over here. Hey, man, holler at you right quick. My man, hey, whoop. Come holler at me. Put the phone down. Come over here. All right, call him over there. They sit down. What? Put the phone down. Come here. All right, listen. Your boy them about to drop something. How much they gave you? Does it really work? I don't know. Come on, man. Do it. I think it's good. You know it's good, you think it's good. I think it's good. That's my part in them. You know he ain't gonna do no down bad work. You know he good people. You know he dropped the other drug that, man, we made $8 billion off that. All right, cool. He made $8 billion. How much he popped you off? But he made 8 of it. You give me 3. I give you 2. We good. Sure enough. That's what we doing. Approved, right? They go through that. But then before they even do that, what they gotta do now is go to the CDC. The CDC gonna say, okay, listen, all right, cool. Check this out. These are the people that gotta get it first. The CDC gonna recommend who get it first, right? Who get it first, who get it second, who get it third. You feel me? The CDC gonna break that down. Now here's why all of this is important. Virginia Oliver, I appreciate that, you hear me? This is why this is important. The drug pipeline is important because it is how we actually evaluate a company. I want y'all to really listen to me right here as we talk about this, right? The more drugs that a company have in a pipeline, the better evaluation you can give them. Because now it's saying that they're putting a lot of money out. They're spending a lot of money. Now with big pharmaceutical companies, they're going to spend a lot of money on research and development. But check it out. This is where it get good at, right? Not only do we look at how many drugs are in the pipeline, the next thing we got to look at is see how deep in the pipeline did it go, right? A lot of them get burnt out phase 1, phase 2. If you get a lot of companies getting to that phase 3, this now gives the company more value. You with me? This now gives the company more value, right? The next thing we got to realize is this: the size and scope of the drug in the market that they are hitting. Let's talk about it again. 3 things that's going to give them value. How many drugs in the pipeline? 2, how deep the drugs go in the pipeline. Phase 1, phase 2, you ain't gonna really get no credibility. If the more you could get to phase 3, which is the hardest phase to get to, right? The more you can get to phase 3 is the hardest phase you can get to. So once they get to phase 3, you'll instantly see the stock price go boom. That's why if you're gonna look into big farm, before you look at pricing, because one, we don't never look at stocks anyway. The first thing you need to do if you're looking at a pharmaceutical business is what? How many drugs do they have in the pipeline? And then when you see how many drugs are in the pipeline, the next thing you need to see is how deep in the pipeline are they? And then the third thing you need to see is what is the broad span in the market of the drug? So the reason why a lot of people trying to make this coronavirus drug, this vaccine, is because this is a huge market. What better attention to have on your name than saying, I created the first one that hit the market, right? That now give you instant credibility. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the super chat, fam. I appreciate you. Right? That now gives you instant credibility for being big dog. Right? Now, this is where it gets tricky at. Phase 3 can take anywhere between 5 to 15 years before approval. I want y'all to let that sink in. Phase 3 can take anywhere from 5 to 15 years before approval. Phase 4, the company must fill out a full review to the FDA, documenting the entire process. Even after they document the entire process, the FDA now can take another 6 to 10 months. Phase 3 can cost a company anywhere between hundreds of millions to up to $2 billion. I think we just cooked the shit out of that shit. I think we just cooked that.